It's that Land Rover. Are you ever going to get it finished? For crying out loud, Richard, your father wants it back. I need the space in the workshop. But before we get in, can you check you're subscribed? If you're not subscribed, why ever not? I don't understand. If you fancy contacting me, then it's Church House Classics, and that's all one word, @gmail.com. And if you fancy buying me a pint or just supporting the channel, then there's a PayPal me link scrolling at the bottom of the screen here. If you want me to buy a pint with it, then just say in the message, buy yourself a pint, Richard. If you want me to support the channel, then say, support the channel, Richard. So this is the outer wing from the the panel that I had outside the workshop. There's a bit of filler in it, a little bit of filler there, but it's it's serviceable. It's better than the one that came off the car. It's the one that came off the car. Just to remind yourselves, is proper fucks. Right, so then I just started roughly lining this thing up, and all was going really well until I get to the front panel here. Now this front panel, I don't know what you've been doing with this, Dad. It's fucking all over the place. It really is. And when I look at this front panel, and then I look at the front panel of the wing that I've just taken that outer wing off. Oh, fuck's sake. Why don't I just use that one? It does mean I need to paint the whole wing rather than just the outer. And on this, I've dressed most of that dent out. It's sort of like, it goes with the rest of the patina on the outside of the vehicle. This headlight panel is a little bit battle scarred, but nowhere near as bad as the other one. In fact, it's got a fair amount of filler in it as well. So I'm kind of chasing my arse up a hill here. I really am. Right. So what do we think? Well, this one is undamaged, and that one has seen a fair amount of warfare. Now, the top section actually isn't too bad. Am I going to end up repainting the whole bloody front end of the car? I don't know. But at the moment you can see that that wing is just, there's no way is that going to fit, because this piece here has been pushed back much too far, and you can see how it should look and how it looks. So I think that is a goner, that headlight box. The rest of the wing is fine, no problems at all. So do I get another headlight box and spot weld it in, so pop rivet it in, or do I just use this? A short while later, right, I've had a chat with my dad, whose car it is, and we kind of talked through. I sent him a video of the various panels and bits and bobs, and we've had a chat through it. He entirely agrees, get rid of the early Series IIa headlight panel. I am going to restore the original panel that came off this car, which I've already shown you. It's in the roof space. I'm going to dig that out in a minute. He wants this wing leaving pretty much exactly as it is, just tidy up some of the loose edges, maybe get a roller to go over some of the scruffy bits, because he wants it to show its age, and I entirely agree with him. If we can get the paint, and I'll probably get the paint mixed up, something like that, I don't know, with a 40 or 50% satin, so it doesn't look too beautiful. I don't really want to go over it and block it all back, you see. I'd rather work around some of the damage. I mean, obviously tidy bits up like this, and get it looking half decent. And now we've got this wing, I say straight, but now this is a lot straighter than it was. So now this wing sits on the car straight and square. We're going to leave that exactly as it is. On the left hand wing, my dad understands where I'm coming from with the headlight box, but for the amount of effort to put that on, and once it's painted you lose all of that patina. So he's actually, see if we can't straighten it out. So I'm going to take the outer wing off it, and I'm going to go at it with a block of wood and a hammer, see if I can't straighten this out. I've got nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. You can get the headlight panel, the whole box section. There's a chap that's selling them online. They're about 60 or 70 quid. But if I can straighten that out, then fantastic. I think that's a solution. I'll keep this outer wing, which I am going to paint. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Right, I'm going to get on with this. Lolloping towards the August bank holiday weekend. Yeah, the weather's shit. But at least it's not raining. Right, this is the original panel, original front panel from my dad's Land Rover. This is the one we took off when we did the chassis refurb. And the main reason we took it off is because it needs this whole bottom section re-welding. Now, I possibly could just weld the bottom piece up, but I've got a feeling that when I turn it over, we're going to see a lot more damage. There's like a double skinned area down here. I don't know why that's double skinned, it probably shouldn't be. But it's all a bit of a shambles, really. So I procured this rather attractive repair section. It's got a nice little recess in there which has been pressed out, so that matches the original. It's got the flaps and the slaps for these pieces here. So what I'm going to really do, I think, is I'm going to take those clips off which support the bottom edge of the grille. And those that are familiar with my workshop will know that this grille has been on my wall for God knows how long, and there it is. So yeah, quite a good job I kept that, really, because of course it's different to the style of the grille that would be for this front panel. So really what I'm going to do here is clean this all up, get those clips off, align it, cut it, weld it together. Does that make sense? I think so. Fairly straightforward. So then obviously when I've done that, we can paint it. This was double skinned at some point. Now I don't know whether that was original. So you can see here that's one skin, two skins. Whether that was original or whether that was just something to do with a previous repair on this particular item. I do want to try and save as much of this baffle as I possibly can, so I'll find the spot welds on that at the bottom edge and cut those out. I mean, of course, although the panel is this big, we don't have to use all of this. There is no suggestion that says we need to use all of this, so it could well be that I end up keeping these bits, or perhaps welding just up to this section here. The obvious part would be to weld up to this section here, and then we can maintain this nice flat bit here, but because the weld along there would be hidden by the grille, and there would be hidden by the grille. I don't know, is the honest answer. It's not very helpful, Richard, I know, but we can restore this. Chopped off the old bit, lined up a new bit. The reference line from up there was from the top of the repair section. What I then did was I measured down to the bottom of the original section, and we have got it more or less exactly how I want it now, except I can just see here just a tiny bit of overlap there. Well, I'll soon get that sorted out with the flat disc in a second. But yeah, we're more or less ready to weld that back on again now, I think. Turn it back into one piece of metal again. Right, to explain a bit more clearly, because I don't think I did really, thinking about that piece of footage, and I've not edited yet. I've measured from that line down to the base of the panel 14.2 centimetres. And on this side, I still need to adjust properly, but we're about 14.2 centimetres. So, I have clamped this edge here, so that the flat face along the front is absolutely bob on, and I know that face is bob on, so I'm going to put a tack of weld there, tack of weld there. Don't weld near the magnets, by the way, because the magnet kind of like buggers the weld up, but I'll certainly be able to put a blob just there. And then the butt clamp could come out, and I can weld this piece up. It's more or less exactly where I want it to be. In fact, I'm a little bit disappointed I chopped that back just that tiny bit further, because I probably didn't need to. But let's get this piece here welded on first, and then I can continue with the overall alignment. Right, that's pretty much about it for that. So now I need to strip it all back, tiny skim of filler across the front here, and we'll be good. I welded it on the front just to hold everything in place, and then welded it on the back more thoroughly. Don't need to grind all that lot back. Get a sneeze. And welded the sides in. It's nice and flat. I've got a nice straight edge all the way up here and all the way up there. Right, paint that now. I'll put it on. Well, it's an August Bank Holiday Monday. It is 5 o'clock. I've had enough, I'm going home. I really wanted this to be in its top coat by now, but I got completely and utterly distracted and bogged down by putting all the splash panels in on this, which didn't quite reach up to the top up here, so I had to put a nice big sheet of stainless steel, thanks Dale, which I extended the galv wheel arch piece with. I'm going to make up another box to go up here around the brake master cylinder. It just wants a shield really to stop any road detritus and so forth coming flying up. So I should be able to do that quite easily tomorrow. Can't be asked now. Right, so this wing now is in place. I know you guys are going to call me a heretic. There wasn't enough of the original bracket up here to screw the extension onto, so it already had coach bolts through it. So I've taken the coach bolts out, I've put Phillips screws in, Acme bolts down here, nicely done. Front panel, as you've seen, is almost ready for a top coat tomorrow, then I can put it on. And then the other thing I'll do tomorrow is I'll get the other side done as well. So all the splash panel needs to go in over there. As you can see, it's just a huge void. And it needs that splash panel. Right, okay. So that's been pretty much my day. Faffing around with this lot. But it's there, it's where I want it to be. I'm pleased with it. Nicely repaired, Richard, if I don't mind saying so myself. And then, as you can see, I've got my rudimentary shield, dust shield, which just keeps some of the paint spray back. Right, I think, as you can see, I've got enough room here for the master cylinder to move if I have to. And I folded this lip back a tiny bit so it cleared the servo. I've got my tap into the top of the inlet manifold, which is going to go onto the servo pipe. Riv nuts to secure the panel in. I don't know if you can see those nice shiny looking riv nuts in there. They're behind the pedal, so it's not going to cause too much of a problem. I'll paint them green so that they hide. Then, Father, I found your bottle opener. What you'd like. I need to go and get all of the lights and things ordered up, because that's going to be the next thing that really needs to go in here. I mean, Dad's got a whole box full of old lights and lights that he kind of like, he bought sets of lights, he's done this, he's done this lot here. So we'll probably find that we've got some lights in here, but I think, to be honest, there's an indicator unit. So I've got one indicator unit, I've got one side light lens. The problem with these is they're very, very, very brittle. And if you go at them a bit like a ham-fisted gibbon, then you just snap the screws off, or you snap the plastic off. So we have got, well, we've got a tail light. Yeah, like that. That one's snapped off, you see. So that's crap. What's that? Couldn't tell you. Oh, washer jet. Oh, there's a washer jet. Yeah, and I've got all of the original lights in here. I suspect what I'm probably going to end up doing, because all these lights, these things, they are cheap. And if I can't find anything better than this, then I will go for exactly the same. And we've got a few spares just in case. But as you can see, fronts have all been taken off. Rears, while it's been in my workshop, they've been falling off. So that one fell off because the plastic's been stretched off. And that should have the number plate light underneath it as well. So I need to find that one, or wire in a separate number plate light. There. There it is. So it looks like an original lens, but you can see it's just broken off. It's not an original lens. It's Tiger. Tiger, rah! Where the fuck did that come from? Right, and then I want my missus up here tomorrow because we're going to bleed the clutch through and I can put all the floors back in. Yes. All nice and solid, and nowhere near the level of rattle that it had before. I might, I mean, it's still got rattle on it, but these things rattle, I'm afraid. I could probably resolve some of that with some Dynamat, selectively located on the underside. In fact, I might do that. If the other wing's going to come off, I might well just do that. Just try and cut down on some of the drumming. But then it's an old Land Rover. What are we expecting? I don't know. Really don't know. Right, so headlight bowls, indicator units, side light units, tail lights, headlights, proper quality, decent quality headlights. We're going to do away with these so I can simplify the wiring, because I've got all the relay and everything on here, which would have been for, there's a fuse there as well. Look. There's a fuse on the earth wire. Why is there a fuse on the earth wire? That's a weird one. No, that's not an earth wire. That's the battery wire, because I can tell it's a big brown wire there. That would have gone onto the battery positive. That's why that's fused. I probably will still fuse the main beam, because I got fed up with that switch down there on the floor. The main beam is up here now. It's on a toggle switch on the dashboard. So I'll retain the relay for that, because it just takes the load off the cheapo nasty green box Lucas switch. And the problem with the switches on the floor is my father's got big old feet, and he doesn't always kind of like, he's not sensitive with it with his foot. He stamps on it and he breaks them. And I don't think it's an uncommon problem. I think everyone breaks them. It's nothing to do with my father. It's just the original design was perfect. All the reproduction parts are shit. Right. I think on that note, I am going to pack up and go home and have a beer. Right, been working on this outer wing. So this is the donut outer wing. There is a fair amount of feather on this, so you can see all the grey area around here. I've taken an incredible amount of it out. There's a couple of pick holes, but I think someone went berserk with the filler, which I've now gone back. So I'm reasonably happy that it's not going to look stupid. So that's that. I'm going to put a coat of primer on that tomorrow and then top coat it the day after. I've stripped the old headlight panel down. I'll put some filler on that. I just had a little bit of filler left over in the job, and I thought, oh, you know, I'm just going to tidy that corner up. It's better. And then the headlight panel, sorry, the radiator panel I should call it now, shouldn't I? Had its top coat, and here it is. Oh yes, that's ready to go back in tomorrow. Bit of dust on the top there. That's ready to go back in. So I'll bolt the radiator up to that, and then that can fit onto the car. Oh my goodness. So yes, I just thought that. I know. Trouble is, by the time I'd taken all of the loose paint off this area from beating the crap out of it, I was back to bare aluminium anyway. But there's a bloody great dent there. I'll see if I can pop that out. Or leave it. I say to hell with it. So yeah, primer on that tomorrow, and then top coat, and then we can kind of, well, we are on then the home straight going back together again. Should be nice, won't it? Wait, you stay with me. I do wear a face mask, don't you worry. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's looking like a Land Rover again. Right, panels all in. I've just put the grille in because I wanted to make sure everything lined up before I went utterly berserk. Obviously, bumper's gone back on now. I'm not going to bang into it every single time I walk past the car. I've been sorting out the loom. So strap the loom back up to the sides here. There are chafes through in a couple of locations. I've checked it and it all appears to be on the okay side. I don't really want to have to rebuild the loom unless I absolutely have to. So yeah, and I've been through the box and separated all of the old lights that came off it, the limited number of new lights I've got, and I need a complete set of lights, really. I never got around to painting this because I kind of got more into spannering than doing it, and to be honest, it's probably going to be easier painting it when it's on the car anyway. That said, I am quite pleased with the match from the car paint shop. They've not done bad there. That's all right. I mean, he scanned that. Yeah, I mean, I went for a satin finish, which is about right. I don't want it too glossy, but then I don't want it looking really scruffy and shite. What I might do here, though, and again, talk to Dad, I might actually block this front edge back here and then paint and dust in the wing. Obviously, I put all that filler on there yesterday. Just, I got bored, I think, and then filler started going on. And, well, you know how it goes. And the other thing I was going to do today was bleed the clutch, which of course is dead easy when you got the floor out, because there's the clutch pedal and there's a bleed nipple. But I didn't quite get round to that. It happens. Anyway, I'm really pleased with the way everything's lining up on that. It's made all the difference, just getting it right. And put the original panel back in the front as well, which really suits it. I was never a big fan of the full headlight look on this thing. I really wasn't. And I'm not a stickler for originality, but I do think when Land Rover put these together and they did the revised headlight design, which I think this was the first year for, it made sense. My dad's going to be well chuffed when this comes back. Today, it's the 30th of August. And if I'm not mistaken, my dad's car is still in my workshop. What's more, I haven't done nothing with the disco either. I've run out of month. I've got too many jobs left at the end of the month. There's a reason for that. Anyway, we're getting there now. So I've been really tidying up all around the engine bay. I've bled the clutch through, that's all working now. I'll put the torch in here. You can look at the clutch mechanism down there. I'll push the clutch pedal down. You'll see that's operating nicely. Beautiful. Put the prop shafts in. Put the floor in on the passenger side. Not put the driver's side floor in yet because I'm not quite done with it. I've also ordered up some more of the, what's his name, spire clips so I can put proper fixings throughout. I've got loads of the screws. I just haven't got many of the U-clips. Oh, there's my hat. Got this door so that it opens and closes about as nicely as a Land Rover door is going to close. Once it's out and in the open, I might oil that, but it opens and it closes beautifully. That's fine. And the alignment, fuck you, just tripped over a prop shaft. The alignment with the door and the wing is all looking quite good. Happy enough with that. Like I say, it'll all get painted once it's all out of here. We'll see. Right, okay, so then what else have I been doing? Well, underneath, there's been a lot of activity underneath today, which gets a bit on the floory. So a nice, So a nice new pair, brand spanking new pair of prop shafts. These came from Paddock Spares. I think they're Brit-Part affairs. They came with all the bits. The UJs are probably not GKNs, but to be honest, they'll do the job. So front and rear prop shafts. Don't make the mistake that I did, because I'm so used to working on Range Rovers, I put the short prop shaft on the front and it was about 2 inches too short. Silly arse. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'd only put loosely fitted 4 bolts, but before I realised, and then it kind of all had to come off. And then we might be in gear actually. Oh no, we're not. There we are. And it's turning through the transfer box, which is great news. Still haven't done that splash guard up there though, look. The one that protects the end of the master cylinder. I do need to do something up there, don't I? Because that's not very good like that. And I'll need to tighten all these shackles up. So the shackles are all loose at the moment, which is why you can see a nut over there that's loose. Before you start screeching and reaching for the comments section. The other thing that's loose on here is you'll see that there's no split pin on the bottom end of the damper on the front. The rear springs all need doing up. It needs fluids throughout. I'm working out whether I need to drop this tank and just paint it, but I suspect what I'll do is I'll pressure wash it off and wax it. Oh, it's a long way up. Just a minute, I'm coming up. I've got dust caps for these. I just haven't finished doing anything, so I'll leave the dust cap off until it's done. Yes, I think so. It's been one of those sort of days really, just trying to put things back onto the car and not have them come off again. Oh look, drive plate's hanging off there. Let's put the drive plate back on. I took the bolts out of the drive plate so I could actually put the prop shaft on without having to jack the front end up. And then I found the jack and thought, oh, I probably could have just jacked it up really, but I need to set the bearing preload on the front anyway. Ordered all the hoses, ordered all the headlights, and we are not that far away now. Be nice to see this Dunny McDum face, really. It really would. And then my dad can have it back. He misses it. Got all the seats and everything somewhere. I don't know where all the seats are actually. Oh, they're on the roof. On the roof! We have got another canvas going on the back end of this at some point. But for the time being, it will do. Some spare parts in there, spare brake drums, spare this, spare that. It's piles and piles and piles of bits you end up with at the end of a big old project. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I've ordered another one of these because I'm not going to faff around with these broken fixings anymore. That's an original Lucas cover there. So it looks like the tail lights are probably all right. If they work, I'm going to leave them alone. That one needs to be replaced because it's just broken off on the stub there. And then new headlights coming, hopefully by Monday. And then we're not really that far away from, do you know what, let's lob it in for an MOT and see what happens. Let's see if we can get a page and a half. Silly bastards. Yes. Oh, I ordered more mirrors as well. The mirrors that I was looking at. Dad doesn't really even use the mirrors on the wings on this because they're so useless. But I've got some longer arms. And I thought, oh, I wonder if the longer arms might help. He's got this big mirror on the doors, like a Defender type mirror or Series 3 type mirror. So he's got one of those there. I don't know how. It's mainly because he doesn't like looking over his shoulder. Because he's 80. He's allowed not to. Once I've got not got no oil in this either at the moment, so I need to get an oil filter, and it's a cartridge filter. So I need to get an oil filter, lob some oil in the engine, lob some oil in the gearbox, lob some oil in the axles, and we're more or less there then. Start it up. I might still need to adjust the push rod on the brakes. We'll see about that. It's not the end of the world. Might need to rotate that around, otherwise that's going to rattle, isn't it? And my factory ROM has been delivering where the Haynes ROM hasn't, but The Haynes ROM is the one I don't mind getting dirty fingerprints on. Whereas the factory ROM, I'd rather protect it if I possibly can from grubby fingers. So I'll pop these two back up in the library. Range Rover manual's up there. There you go. And I had a bit of a clear up of the bench this morning. So I was talking to David, who owns a GM Blue haunted Range Rover that I had on my channel right at the beginning. And while I was chatting to him, I actually cleared this bench up. And all this mess has occurred since. So, I don't know. I really don't. Now, one thing I have lost, and the reason I started tidying this bench up, I cannot find my ratchet, my electric ratchet. It has disappeared. And I don't know where. I'll find it. Bastard thing. It's haunted, I tell you, it's haunted. It's been taken up. Oh, fucking thing. And this turned up today. Spoiler, another episode. Not mine. Quite sweet, isn't it? And two of those are for sale. Because I'm never going to get around to it, if I'm honest. That's why you've seen those two on eBay. Well, you might not have done. If you're interested in a pair of A Suffix Range Rovers, then let me know. I'm never going to get round to them, so they need to go.